Hello and welcome to my channel Learn Theory and Drive with Common Man. This is Nash. Today we're going to be doing what? Yes, another theory practice topic, which is today the attitude topic in the theory test. It has 39 questions and I will be doing maybe 6 or 7 questions consisting of videos or consisting of 6 or maybe 7 questions, and I think we shall start. Here we have a first question on the screen. You are driving behind a large goods vehicle. What should you do if it signals left but steers to the right? Okay, now for every question, what I would say is imagine yourself in the position the question has been asked about. In that position yourself, like you're driving, and now there's a vehicle ahead of us, which is a large goods vehicle carrying some big equipment, and it has signaled left, but it's moving to the right. So it's turning right, but signaled left. So in that case, in that situation, what kind of precautions and what kind of action we should be performing safely to keep the other road users safe and ourselves as well. So we have 4 options for these questions, and let's read them out as well. So slow down and let the vehicle turn. Drive on, keeping to the left. Overtake on the right of it. Hold your speed and sound your horn. If we see the number one options being provided, it's most likely to be that one, because in that scenario, in that case, the safe thing is to do to slow down and let this large goods vehicle to turn, because those vehicles takes time to make a turn as well, and they also block the road ahead for you to go move anywhere. Like if you want to continue your driving, but these vehicles they block your ways for like a couple of seconds or minutes. Sometimes it can take them like 2 minutes to take a turn, or maybe some couple of seconds. Yeah, so they do make you to stop, driving, and not to continue it for like some time. But the precautions we should be taking in that case, it should be slowing down and letting that vehicle to make a turn, because we should be patient when driving. We should never haste and should never be rushing about driving. That's one of the things most commonly happening when we drive. We always rush, for especially for our youngsters, like me and other youngsters who are currently have just passed their test. What they will be doing is rushing and showing off, which is not a good thing for a driver who just passed, or for any drivers who has passed for who has experience of many years. They should never be hasting or rushing about it. You always drive patiently and reasonably. So the next other 3 options, if you look at them, they don't look like to be the answer of this question, because if how can I be driving on keeping to the left? To No, it's not safe to do so, to drive on and keep to the left, because considering the size of the road, how big the road is, how feet it's long, how wide enough it is for us to carry on our driving, and overtake on the right of it. Uh, Not really. You shouldn't be overtaking it on the right of it, because that vehicle is taking a right turn, and then hold your speed and sound your horn. No, this is rude to do so. That you holding your speed and sounding your horn, because you know that vehicle is big. The driver will be taking a time to make a turn, and why he will be taking a time is to keep himself safe and the other drivers on the road to keep them safe as well. to avoid any collisions, which is a good thing again. So we shouldn't be doing that, holding our speed and sounding the horn. Let's go for the number one and let's see if it's right or wrong. Yes, we got it right, and here's the explanation why this. Why should we slow down and let this vehicle turn? Let's move on to the next question. Alright, so here we got a photo in this question. What will happen if you follow this vehicle too closely? Well, what will happen if we follow this vehicle too closely? Imagine yourself, you're driving on this road behind this vehicle, and if I start following it too closely, and when you follow any vehicles on the road too closely, or if so, that calls tailgating as well. This kind of question will also be asked in the theory test as well. So, what is tailgating? Tailgating is basically when you follow any of the vehicles ahead of you so closely, and you have the not even normal distance between that vehicle and the vehicles ahead of you and yourself. That is what a tailgating is. So if I start to tailgate that vehicle, if I start to follow it too closely, the thing's gonna happen to me is I won't be able to see the view of the road ahead of it. I won't be able to be prepared myself to avoid any hazards coming ahead of this road and to see what's going on. So your brakes will overheat, your fuel consumption will be increased, your view ahead will be reduced, your engine will overheat. None of this will happen. Your brakes will overheat because your fuel consumption will be increased, your engine will overheat. If I'm gonna follow this vehicle so closely, obviously my speed will be slow, and I will, and the engine won't be overheating. The fuel consumption will be low, but the thing that will happen is reduce the view of mine ahead of the road. So I'm gonna go for the number four. I hoping that is the right one. Yes, it is the right one. And here's again the explanation why it's right. Let's move on to the next question. On a road where trams operate, which vehicles will be most at risk from the tram rails? Cars, buses, cycles, and lorries. For me, the smallest vehicle is the most the risk is, because obviously the lorries, you can see lorries are such big vehicles which you can see from far away, and also the buses. Cars can be seen, but the cycles, they are small, and then they are also sometimes hidden behind some objects, and you're not able to see them. So I think it's the cycles that will be the most at risk of the trams area, and not the cars. And for the cycles, sometimes cyclists, they ride on their bikes on the footpath. They're riding their bikes on the footpath, so it's hard to see them in your mirrors, and be prepared for them, because they are more hazardous than any of the vehicles mentioned in this question's options. Um, cars, for cars, obviously there are signals operating on the road, so at any time that tram's gonna come, the signal will turn red. So the cars drivers who are driving maturely and reasonably, they will stop when they see the red signal. But as for cyclists, sometimes they maybe not stopping and then trying to cross the path from different ways. So for me, cyclists are going to be the most risky riders for this one. And here's again the explanation. Please do read the explanation, because that helps to strengthen your knowledge in the theory test and build, you know, a formidable and a formidable knowledge about the driving theory test. Well, let's move on. So, when should you use your vehicle horn? Now, when should we use our vehicle's horn? To alert to alert others to your presence, to allow you right away to signal your annoyance to greet other road users. So if you were driving your car or any vehicle, so when will you be using a horn for the vehicles? Now, you are only allowed to use a horn in some conditions, like to make other people aware of the hazards. And let's say if you were driving on a road and someone just all of a sudden uh, come out of his house parking and then started to reverse, and he does not realize that you're driving behind it, your car is behind him, or your car is behind his car or her car. So him or her uh, so you will honk your horn to make that car drivers aware of you that you are behind him or her. So obviously, to avoid any hazards, to avoid any dangers, making other people aware of your presence, and also sometimes what happens when you drive, that you have a right of way, but other people cross your right of way. Um, but sometimes you do honk a horn, but that's when you get angry about it. Like obviously, when you got a way of ride, so you will be the one to continue driving, but someone else that sometimes some drivers does not realize the sign, and they think it's their way of ride, so they just drive on, continue their driving, and then don't stop for you. However, I'm gonna go for the number one. Obviously, do not honk horn to greet other road users. It's only occasional when you see some of your friend. That's when some drivers honk their horns. Signal your annoyance? No, that's not a good driver. And we have the explanation also. This horn should not be. You mustn't use your vehicles on between 11:30 p.m. and 7 a.m. in built-up areas or when you're stationary. This is why, because this is when people are slaving in the build-up areas, when obviously there are buildings or houses around where you're driving. Then this is at this time. Why are you not allowed to use a harness when? Because it can disturb the people's sleep and obviously can wake them up, which is not a good thing. Those people who go to work and they have to get up early in the morning and they cannot get a good sleep because mm, some idiot is honking a horn, annoying other people's. She's not a good driver. Thing. All right, let's. This is going to be the last question of this lesson, and hopefully you're enjoying so far. Let's see. So you're in a one-way street and want to turn right. Where should you position your vehicle when there are two lanes? So again, this question, what is asking? You are driving on a one-way street and want to make a right turn. Where should you position your vehicle when there are two lanes? So on a one-way street there are two lanes, and where should you position your vehicle? In the right-hand lane, in either lane depending on the traffic, in the left-hand lane, just left of the center line. I think you should position yourself in the right-hand lane because you're going to make a right turn and it's a one-way street, so the cars from another direction can't drive in that road. Let's see if it's right or wrong. To be honest with you guys, I don't really know the answer of this question either. That's right. But yes, it's right. Because the reason I got to right, I have driven on the one-way roads where are two lanes, and then when you're turning right, you position your car in the right side. Anyway, thank you very much. This is the end of the lesson. And thank you very much again for watching my video. And hopefully this video has been useful and helpful for you guys for learning the theory test of the Driving UK. And please, if you have liked it, subscribe my channel and hit the thumb button. And share my videos to other of your friends if they started to learn driving, so they can also get a help from these videos. Thank you, and have a nice day. Good night, and have a good day and good night, and have a lovely life.